We all face problems, but some of us keep running instead of confronting them. Avoidance feels safe, yet it secretly drains your energy, confidence, and future. In this video, we'll uncover the shocking psychology behind escaping challenges and reveal how facing them transforms your life forever. Chapter 1. Signs you're avoiding your problems. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to scroll endlessly on your phone when something important is waiting for you? Or how suddenly cleaning your room feels urgent right when you should be making a tough decision? These are not random habits. They are signs that you might be running away from your problems. Avoidance doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, disguised as everyday routines. You tell yourself, I'll deal with it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You convince yourself that you're too tired, too busy, or not ready yet. Deep down, though, you know the truth. You're avoiding. One of the clearest signs of avoidance is procrastination. You delay tasks that matter most, not because you don't care, but because facing them feels uncomfortable. That discomfort might be fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of success. So instead of confronting the problem, you push it aside, hoping it will disappear. But problems rarely vanish on their own. Another sign is distraction. You fill your time with activities that keep you busy but not productive. Maybe you binge watch shows, scroll through social media, or dive into hobbies that don't really move your life forward. Distraction feels safe because it keeps your mind away from the real issue. But safety here is an illusion. The problem waits patiently, growing heavier the longer you ignore it. Denial is another form of running away. You convince yourself the problem isn't that serious. You minimize it, telling yourself, it's fine, I'll figure it out later. Denial can be comforting in the short term, but it's dangerous. It blinds you to reality and delays the moment when you finally have to face the truth. Sometimes avoidance shows up in relationships. You avoid difficult conversations with friends, family, or partners. Instead of expressing how you feel, you stay silent, hoping the tension will fade. But silence often makes things worse. The longer you avoid speaking up, the more the relationship suffers. There's also the physical side of avoidance. Stress can manifest in your body when you run from problems. You might feel constant fatigue, headaches, or even anxiety attacks. Your body knows what your mind is trying to escape. It sends signals, urging you to pay attention. Here's the tricky part. Avoidance often feels good in the moment. It gives you temporary relief. You don't have to deal with the uncomfortable emotions right now. But that relief is short-lived. The problem doesn't go away. It waits, and when it returns, it usually feels bigger and heavier than before. Think about the times you've delayed something important. Maybe it was a project, a conversation, or a decision. At first, avoiding it felt easier. But later, didn't the weight of it feel worse? That's the cycle of avoidance, temporary comfort followed by long-term stress. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward change. Awareness is powerful. When you notice yourself procrastinating, distracting, denying, or avoiding conversations, pause and ask, am I running away from something? That simple question can shift your perspective. And here's where I want to pause for a moment. If you're finding these insights helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to more content that helps you understand yourself better and take real steps toward growth. It's a small action, but it keeps you moving forward instead of slipping back into avoidance. Avoidance is not a weakness. It's a human response to fear and discomfort. Everyone does it at some point. The key is not to judge yourself harshly, but to recognize the pattern. Once you see it clearly, you can start making different choices. Imagine your life if you stopped running. Imagine facing problems head on, even if they scare you. The relief you'd feel wouldn't be temporary, it would be lasting. You'd gain confidence, clarity, and strength. Problems would no longer control you. You'd control how you respond to them. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling, cleaning, or distracting yourself when something important is waiting, stop and ask, what am I avoiding? That question might be uncomfortable, but it's the doorway to growth. Chapter 2. why escaping problems makes life harder. Running away from problems feels like a relief at first. You avoid the stress, the confrontation, the uncomfortable emotions. It's like stepping out of the rain and finding temporary shelter. But here's the truth, the storm doesn't disappear. It waits outside, growing stronger, and eventually you have to face it. Avoidance is seductive because it offers instant comfort. You don't have to deal with the tough conversation, the unfinished project, or the painful truth. For a moment, life feels lighter. But that comfort is short-lived. Problems don't dissolve when ignored, they expand. What was once a small issue becomes heavier, harder, and more complicated the longer you run. Think about debt as an example. Ignoring bills might feel easier than opening them. You avoid the anxiety of seeing the numbers. But while you're pretending the problem doesn't exist, interest grows, deadlines pass, and the weight multiplies. What could have been solved with a small step now demands a mountain of effort. The same happens with relationships. Avoiding a difficult conversation might save you from awkwardness today. But silence builds walls. Misunderstandings deepen. Resentment grows. By the time you finally face the issue, it's no longer a simple talk. It's a confrontation loaded with months or years of tension. Avoidance also damages your confidence. Each time you run, you teach yourself that you can't handle discomfort. You reinforce the belief that problems are too big for you. Slowly, your self-trust erodes. You start doubting your ability to cope, and that doubt spreads into every area of life. There's another hidden cost: stress. Even when you're distracting yourself, your mind knows what you're avoiding. The unfinished task lingers in the background like a buzzing noise you can't turn off. You might laugh, scroll, or keep busy, but deep down, the weight is still there. That constant tension drains your energy, leaving you exhausted without knowing why. Running away also steals opportunities. Problems often carry lessons, growth, or hidden doors to something better. When you avoid them, you miss the chance to learn, to strengthen yourself, or to move forward. Imagine someone afraid of failure who avoids trying new things. They might feel safe, but they also miss every chance to succeed. The cycle of avoidance is cruel. You escape, feel temporary relief, then face bigger consequences later. That leads to more fear, more avoidance, and even heavier problems. It's like running from a shadow. You can't outrun it because it's tied to you. The faster you run, the more it follows. Facing problems, on the other hand, breaks the cycle. It's uncomfortable at first, but it brings lasting relief. When you confront an issue, you take back control. You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. That proof builds confidence, and confidence makes the next challenge easier. Think of it like exercise. The first workout feels painful, but over time, your body grows stronger. Facing problems works the same way. Each time you confront something instead of running, you build emotional muscle. That strength doesn't just solve the current issue, it prepares you for the future. Running away also isolates you. People notice when you avoid responsibility or conversations. Trust weakens. Friends, partners, or colleagues may stop relying on you. Avoidance creates distance, not only between you and your problems, but between you and the people who matter. And here's the most important truth. Problems are not punishments. They are part of life, part of growth. Avoidance makes them feel like monsters chasing you. Facing them reveals they are challenges you can overcome. The fear shrinks once you step toward it. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each problem you avoid adds another stone. At first, the weight feels manageable, but as you keep running, the backpack grows heavier until it crushes you. Facing problems is like opening the backpack and removing stones one by one. Relief comes not from running faster, but from lightening the load. So, why does escaping make life harder? Because it multiplies the very pain you're trying to avoid. It steals your energy, your confidence, your relationships, and your opportunities. It turns small challenges into overwhelming burdens. And worst of all, it convinces you that you're powerless, when in reality, you're not. The moment you stop running, everything changes. Problems stop growing in the dark. They become manageable, solvable, and even meaningful. Facing them doesn't just fix the issue, it transforms you. It shows you that you are stronger than the fear, braver than the discomfort, and capable of more than you imagined. Chapter 3: How to Face Problems and Stop Running. Facing problems is never easy. It demands courage, honesty, and patience. Yet the moment you stop running, something powerful happens. The fear begins to shrink, and the problem becomes manageable. This chapter is about learning how to face challenges directly, step by step, so they no longer control your life. The first step is awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Begin by noticing when you're avoiding. Ask yourself, am I distracting myself because I don't want to deal with this? That simple question shines a light on the habit of running away. Awareness is like turning on a lamp in a dark room. Suddenly, the shadows don't seem so overwhelming. Once you recognize avoidance, the next step is breaking the problem down. Big challenges feel terrifying because they look like mountains, but mountains are climbed one step at a time. Take the issue and divide it into smaller tasks. If you're avoiding a conversation, start by writing down what you want to say. If you're avoiding a project, begin with the first 5 minutes of work. Small steps make the impossible feel possible. Another powerful tool is reframing. Instead of seeing problems as threats, try to see them as opportunities. A difficult conversation can be a chance to strengthen a relationship. A stressful project can be a chance to prove your skills. Reframing doesn't erase discomfort, but it changes the way you approach it. Problems stop being monsters and start being teachers. Self-compassion is also essential. Many people avoid problems because they fear failure or judgment. They believe facing the issue will expose their weakness. But the truth is, everyone struggles. Everyone makes mistakes. Treat yourself with kindness when you confront challenges. Remind yourself that courage is not about being perfect, it's about showing up even when it's hard. Support makes facing problems easier. You don't have to do everything alone. Share your struggle with a friend, a mentor, or someone you trust. Speaking your fears out loud often makes them less intimidating. Sometimes another perspective can reveal solutions you never considered. Connection turns isolation into strength. Another step is practicing presence. Avoidance thrives on fear of the future or regret about the past. Facing problems requires staying in the present moment. Focus on what you can do right now, not on what might happen later. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, or simply pausing to center yourself can help you stay grounded. It's also important to celebrate progress. Facing problems is not about solving everything instantly. It's about taking steps forward. Each time you confront something, instead of running, acknowledge it. Celebrate the courage it took. That recognition builds momentum. Over time, you'll start to see yourself as someone who faces challenges, not someone who avoids them. Facing problems also means accepting discomfort. Growth rarely feels comfortable. The fear, the tension, the uncertainty, they are part of the process. Instead of resisting discomfort, lean into it. Tell yourself, this feeling means I'm growing. Discomfort becomes proof that you're moving forward, not a signal to run away. Another strategy is visualization. Imagine yourself facing the problem successfully. Picture the conversation going well, the project completed, or the challenge overcome. Visualization trains your mind to expect success instead of failure. It prepares you emotionally for the real moment. Finally, remember that facing problems is a practice, not a one-time event. You will still feel the urge to run sometimes. That's normal. The difference is that now you have tools: awareness, small steps, reframing, self-compassion, support, presence, celebration, acceptance, and visualization All of these help you stop running and start living authentically. When you face problems, you reclaim your power. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't control you. You discover strength you didn't know you had. And most importantly, you open the door to growth. Problems stop being heavy burdens and become stepping stones toward the life you want. So the next time you feel the urge to escape, pause. Ask yourself, what small step can I take right now? Then take it. That step, however small, is the beginning of freedom.